Assalamu alaikum. How are you guys? Well, the today video topic is dart files. If you don't know what is a dart file, so let me tell you. Going to create some directory, a temporary directory. Here you can see there is nothing in this directories. So let me create some file here. Touch hello. I created a file. Here is hello. Let me create another file. I have created two files. Let me execute ls. Well, I escaped ls because the ls in my system is actually color ls, which I have configured to show even the dot files, the files which name starts with the period. You can see I am using perl color ls and ls is alias to it. So if you can see there are actually two files, but ls is showing us only one file. If you pass ls and if you pass the -a argument to ls, it shows you two files. The other file which names starts with a period. So in linux, if a file name starts with a dot file, that you can see that is a dot file. Mostly dot files are the files which contains your configuration files for some graphical programs, like in linux or in another operating system. If you configure some graphical application, it saves your settings in some file. In linux, we use these files, and there is a standard location for these configuration files. In linux, mostly they are in your home directory .config directory. Mostly this directory contains your dot files. Here you can see there are so many directories. So you can write your configuration files for some program like vim and most the command line programs which you use, like terminal, ncmp, gato, conky. You can see there are so many directories, and every directory contain some configuration files. So how I manage my configuration files? In linux, if you write some configuration and then configuration file, and you go to some other machine which is not yours, but you want to create an account there, and you want to get your configuration files which you are using on your home machine. So you have a problem, because on every machine you have to configure your dot files. So you can save your configuration files, these dot files, to some github, gitlab repository. So no matter where you go, where you are, just fetch the updates from your github repository or where you saved your configuration files, and you are just like you are at home. So you can get your dot files, configuration files for any program in any computer, no matter where you are. So here I will show how you can do that. And there is also some programs which needs some password, some api keys. So you can't save those keys on GitHub unless you save them in some private repository. And still, if you think you can't trust GitHub, and you should not also, GitLab or some other host, you can encrypt your API keys, your passwords, or some data which you think that is very important and you don't want to share them. So you can encrypt them, and you can push them online on other machine. When you clone that repository, if you have your GPG keys, like in this setup I am going to show you how I use my GPG key to encrypt my dot files. Actually most of the dot files I have on GitHub are not encrypted. You can use them without decrypting because they are not encrypted, but some files are encrypted files. So like my ADB which I have here, let me show you at see here. I have some ADB key in my local share mask. Here you can see there are some files which are which name ends with GPG. These are actually encrypted files, and they are I have pushed them to GitLab, GitHub, and other Git hosts, but they are encrypted. They will only be unencrypted when I fetch them into my machines. So here is I am going to show you how I do that. Like there are so many files, and some of them, if I go to my .config directory, here you can see there are some files which are not even directories, but they are only a symlink, like symbolic link to some directories. So I actually create a directory in my home directory, CFG. In this one you can see here that it is a Git repository. And what I use symlink links. I have been using so many strategies for my dot files. Ended up with Sto. Sto is a program you can find in most Linux distribution repositories, or if you don't find it for your distribution, you can use it, and you can use my repository. There is a link to its source code, so you can go there, compile it for you. Let me show you the readme file. Here is the link. This one is the source code link for GNU Sto. So you can go there, get the source, and compile it. Here my repository contains a readme file, so you can read it how I use Sto. This one is a practical video for how you can manage your dot files with Sto. So this directory, I have so many files in CFG directory. Here I create some directories for the program I want to configure the dot files for. Like let me show you how I configure my BSPWM dot files. So in the CFG directory I have created a BSPWM. You can see there is some config directory. So I have config directory. This config directory is actually one directory behind. Like here is your config directory. So you want to symlink, you want this bspwm directory here, and so you have to create a directory in your configuration main directory, like bspwm, and then inside the bspwm you have to create .config directory where you want to symlink the bspwm directory. So here you can see I have bspwm as a symlink. Here you can see it is a symlink to bspwm directory. Here I will show you how I have created them. So like this one you can see, this one is not a symlink, it is a directory. So I will go to bspwm, and here you can see all my configuration files for bspwm reside inside this directory. So whenever I want to symlink these bspwm files, like I go to configuration directory cfg, and what I do, I have to do store bspwm. So and the bspwm, all the files inside the bspwm configuration file directory are symlinked inside my home directory, and there inside the config directory. Here you can see inside the .config directory. Let me go to bspwm. Here you can see all these files are here, and you can see I am inside this directory, and here all these files are actually symlinked. Actually they are symlinks. This file is not going to show them as symlink inside this directory. So this one is the actually method I am using right now. It is using store. You can even root user can use your dot files. Like if you want to use the vim editor configuration files for the root user, all you have to do is go to the cfg directory which contains the dot files, and do as root. You have to do like sudo store t and root, where you want to create a symlink. So I want to create a symlink inside the root user home directory. So inside the root user, and what you want to symlink, I want to symlink nvim my nvim configuration file, new vim configuration file inside the root home directory. So all I have, once I enter this store, what store is going to do, store will create a symlink inside the root home directory, which will be actually symlink into my cfg directory nvim, like into this nvim directory. This one it will be a symlink inside the root user home directory. So this way root user can use my vim configuration. So let me tell you, sudo nvim varlog pacman. You can see nvim is using my configuration files for vim. So this is how I manage my configuration files. Here is how you can encrypt them. Like I want some encrypted files. So let me create one file for you. Like I want to save some password into my git repository and which I need in some program, and let me decide what program need that file. So for example, we want a password file for kitty. So inside the this file is equity gets reads the configuration file from etc.local share and misc. So touch password v password, this is some random password. So I want this let's move this password file to etc local share misc. Now go to this file, let's see, go to this directory misc. Here you can see the password file is there, this one is password file. So I am going to encrypt it for me, gpger and abdullah at abdullah.today. Password file I want to encrypt. So now you can see the password file has been encrypted, and here is the file gpg. You can see this is encrypted file, this one is encrypted file, here you can see. So let me remove the password file which is unencrypted. So what I am going to do, I am going to put this file into my git repository, so no one can read this file because it is encrypted. So once I need them, I will create I will use tar to compress the encrypted files. All these files are actually encrypted. Mostly this directory contains some files which are encrypted. So actually this file is now encrypted, so I can tar them up and push to GitHub, GitLab, whatever I want. So these encrypted files are actually secure, so no one can read them. So once I clone my repository, these encrypted archive files will be there inside my this machine, so I can use my gpg key to decrypt them. So this way you can encrypt this password, and you have